Hello, this is Brian Rowe, Mythic MTG Tech, number 125, doing my July investment video. I'm looking at doing these monthly, as the last one was extremely popular. Also, if you want early access to the slides, I post those to anybody who is a sponsor on Patreon. You can also comment on the slides as they're being put together. This deck took me about 2 weeks to put together. There's a few cards in Legacy that I think are definitely worth picking up right now. True Name Nemesis and Toxic Deluge from the Commander sets are both very reasonably priced, and they've stopped printing the Commander decks. We're seeing new Commander decks come out in November, so now is the time to pick these guys up. I know that I had said to hold on to True Name Nemesis at the turn of the year. I had not taken into account the fact that True Name Nemesis was going to be double printed, but they've dropped significantly in price since then, and I think they're ready to start going back up. Also, Toxic Deluge is just a great legacy card for killing True Name Nemesis and other creature-based strategies. It's also a very solid EDH card. Modern is becoming very popular. A lot of people are interested in Modern right now, and now is the time to pick up some of those staples. I know we're at the end of the Modern season, so these may see a very small dip, but the new Pro Tour qualifier season setup allows stores to run whatever type of events they want. We won't see these traditional fluxes per season. We may see stores that dedicate themselves to particular formats. So there are individuals who are going to become die-hard Modern players and play Modern year-round. The new Pro Tour qualifier season division, where stores get to run whatever format they want, is going to allow some stores to specialize in Modern, and Modern prices may continue to go up. Blood Moon, Slaughter Pact, Electrolyze, and Vidalcan Shackles are four that I believe are currently underpriced and will be staples in the environment for years to come. Urborg Tomb of Yawgmoth is down to $5. That is incredible. This was an extremely expensive card a few weeks ago. The reprint has definitely impacted the value. It is going to be a long-term favorite, so definitely buy it at $5. Court of Calling and Sigarda are so reasonably priced right now that you just can't pass them up. I mean, Court of Calling is around $10 to $12. Very, very reasonable. It's going to be a strong card in Standard, and it's already proven itself as a great card in Modern. Sigarda is one of those cards that's a great EDH card and is very reasonably priced right now. Talking a little bit more about EDH, Aurelia, the War Leader, is extremely reasonably priced. $5, really good card, very solid commander. I definitely recommend picking her up, especially since she's a mythic. Genesis Hydra is another one that I see as very playable both in Standard and in EDH, and is only running about $3 right now. If you can find it at that price, it's going to be well worth it. It's a fun playable EDH card and may even see some play in Standard. Now is the time to pick up Vintage Online. I know the buy-in price for drafting is extremely high, so I don't actually recommend drafting at $26 a shot. If you want to play Magic Online, and Vintage specifically, now is the time to pick these up. They're going to dip a little bit more in price as more people open the packs, but once they're gone, I don't think we'll see them on a regular basis, or even if we do, these are going to be the most sought-after cards. Vintage is a much deeper, richer format than most people realize. It's a lot of fun to play. I hope to have some gameplay videos of Vintage coming after I'm able to assemble a set. I'm even looking at liquidating a few cards from my Legacy collection to trade into them. Not all Vintage cards are created equal. Black Lotus is clearly better than anything else. It just allows you to do incredible things such as drop a bunch of Moxes, Wheel of Fortune, draw 7, refill your hand, or play Jace the Mind Sculptor on turn 1. If you're only going to pick up one of the cards now, go for the Lotus. Time Twister, be leery of, avoid it. It's really not a power card anymore. It is only slightly more powerful than Wheel of Fortune. With regard to the Moxes, Sapphire is the best. Sapphire is amazing, and it's because blue is best in vintage. I'm going to be going over a little bit of vintage rotisserie stuff in a few weeks. Ancestral Recall and Time Walk are just such powerful cards that they really drive up the price of the Sapphire, which is also used for counter spells extremely early on, and allow you to play just amazing early plays. This is your last chance to get Abrupt Decays at a reasonable price. Abrupt Decay is about to rotate out, but it is a legacy and modern staple and will be for years to come. Definitely pick it up at its current price. I also recommend looking for deals on Voice of Resurgence and Sphinx's Revelation. Sphinx's Revelation I've seen down as low as $7 recently. It is a long-term playable EDH and modern card. Voice of Resurgence. Card Kingdom had them for $12 earlier this week. It's one of their specials from their email list. Star City has them at $15 currently. This is a long-term modern playable card. I am shocked at how low it is. I just mentioned that it was $18 in an earlier video, and then I found these two deals on it. Pick it up now, even though it's rotating out. Shocklands. This is your last chance to get Shocklands at a reasonable price. I strongly recommend picking up the Shocklands now before they shoot through the roof in price. I'm going to talk for a second here about commons. One of the fans of the channel mentioned that I should do an investment video on commons. And commons are really tough to invest in just because of the number of them printed. For each mythic that is out there, there are 2 rares on that same sheet. For each pack, when you get a mythic or a rare, you're looking at about 6 uncommons or 12 commons. So if you open up a bunch of packs, for every mythic you find, you're going to get 3 complete playsets. Now, that ratio doesn't look so bad right off as a 1 to 12. Like, oh, then the value of these should be closer. But what we're missing here is that there's a huge value difference. It takes 300 Rift Bolts right now to trade for a very good Tarmogoyf at Card Kingdom's buy prices. Why is there such a disparity if they're only 12 to 1 as the ratio between them? The issue is how many boxes it takes you to get a playset, which means that for 4 Rift Bolts, you can easily get that out of 2 boxes of Modern Masters. But comparatively, you're looking at about 24 boxes of Modern Masters to get a playset of Tarmogoyfs. Anybody who has went through the boxes to get a playset of Tarmogoyfs, one, has to be incredibly rich. I want to take a quick poll here. Which would you rather have right now? A very good condition Tarmogoyf or 300 Rift Bolts? There are some very good uncommons that I am actually picking up, although I'm picking up foil copies of these because foils are much more tradable when it comes to uncommons and commons. Reclamation Sage is an incredible card. Inquisition of Kozilek is very cheap right now. The Sunblade Elf for an M15 is incredible. Manriki is great in Legacy, and Young Pyro is playable in Modern and in Legacy. It's a long-term favorite for me as uncommons. In the common spot, I am trading for Delver of Secrets. The card is a flip card and will not be easily printed in any set in the future. It's also a house. It is incredible in Legacy and in Modern. Long-term, I can see this becoming a $10 card for the regular version and up there at $50 or $60 for the foils, no problem. Hymn to Turok, it's one that really depends on the market that you're in. In the Northwest, hymns are super easy to get. Lots of stores open packs. But whenever I travel outside of the Northwest, anywhere that didn't actually open Fallen Empires in large quantities, I could trade them away at a few bucks a piece. So it is well worth picking them up. It's not going to be printed in standard ever or in a modern legal set. I also really like the hymn artwork from the Vault 20. Great looking. Gush is another common that I've been picking up because if vintage takes off at all, even in a proxy sort of way, Gush is just a wonderfully great card. For standard right now, I'm picking up Read the Bones in foil, mostly because I'm playing it in a green-black rock deck that I think is going to be really good after rotation, but otherwise I'm avoiding commons in the standard sets and only trading for commons that I think are amazing in long-term vintage, legacy, or modern contexts. Wax prices are really low right now. In fact, the lowest that I've seen them in a few years, I've seen Journey into Nyx as low as $72 and Conspiracy at about $80. If you want to pick up Wax, this is a very reasonable time to do so. I myself am not picking up Journey into Nyx, but I am trading for it and picking up Conspiracy because it's hella fun to play with your friends. I really like the set, and it has some chase cards like Foil Brainstorm, Stifle, and Misdirection that will have value long term. So I actually recommend picking up Conspiracy if you can find a good deal on it. Modern Event Deck is also extremely reasonably priced right now. I've seen them all over the place at between $45 and $60. There's a Sword of Feast and Famine, 2 Inquisitions of Kozilek, an Elspeth Knight Errant, and some really cool sleeves. If you can find this in that $45 to $60 range, long term, I believe the event deck will be worth it. Right now, I would avoid the fetch lands. I'm shocked that the fetch lands were not in M15. I believe we're going to see at least the Scalding Burden, Arid, Marsh Flats, Misties soon, and we may see all of them in the next set. We need fetch lands in order for more players to get into Modern, and Modern is a wonderfully fun environment that is accessible for most individuals, unlike Legacy. Wizards has the opportunity by reprinting these to make the format accessible to a lot of players. We just got a unofficial full spoiler list for From the Vault Annihilation. I would avoid trading for any of these cards right now, as they're all going to drop in price when From the Vault comes out. This is not an official spoiler list, so this list could be a little bit off, but it looks pretty accurate to me. I need a playset of Cataclysms, but I'm waiting until they come out. Now, I'm not saying avoid From the Vault Annihilation. Let me be clear. If you can get a set of this for anywhere near retail, I definitely recommend picking it up. The Cataclysm and the Armageddon that have been unofficially spoiled look incredible. All of the From the Vault so far have had long-term potential as an investment, and I just like how the artwork looks to be amazing on these. I look forward to seeing the smokestacks and hopefully picking up a playset of smokestacks to play in Vintage. Thanks. This has been Brian Rowe with Mythic MTG Tech. Thank you to all the patrons that are out there. If you want early access to these speculation video slides, I post them up to individuals who are patrons of the channel. So please consider supporting the channel. Thanks.